Shri Chaitanya Academy YouTube channel. My name is Kiran Chaudhary and today we will be discussing your grant test paper that you have appeared on 26th of April. I am going to discuss the botany questions with you. Let's get started. This is the very first question, my dear students, very interesting. This is match list 1 and list 2. So let's see this. This is from your biological classification, fungi part. Albugo, my dear students, is going to match with Phycomycetes. Puffballs is going to match with your Basidiomycetes. Claviceps is your Ascomycetes. Trichoderma is your Deuteromycetes. So it is A goes with 3, puffballs 4, claviceps 2, trichoderma 1. So answer should be 3, 4, 2, 1. 3, 4, 2 and 1. So second or 2 must be your right answer. Okay guys, next question. Laminarin, the reserve food in brown algae is, so it is the complex carbohydrate. It is the complex carbohydrate. Simple, very simple question. Answer is 3, complex carbohydrate. Next, match list 1 with list 2. So interesting, match from your morphology of flowering plants. So ray florets of sunflower, if I talk about. So ray florets, my dear students, is going to have epigynous and syncarpus. It is going to match with this condition. So A is 2, epigynous and syncarpus. Flower of mustard is actinocarpic and syncarpus. Flower of cassia, zygomorphic with imbricate aestivation. Flower of rose, perigynous and apocarpus condition. So 2, 4, 3 and 1. 2, 4, 3 and 1. So 1 should be your right answer. Clear? Next question on your screen. Identify the incorrect statement. So if you see over here, the third statement, conjoint vascular bundles of monocots stem are surrounded by collenchymatous bundle sheath. So beta, it should not be collenchymatous, it should be sclerenchymatous, and that is why this statement is incorrect and become answer to your question. Okay, next. Which of the following statement are true for pteridophytes? They are majority, right? So in pteridophytes, majority are homosporous, correct? Prothalus is multicellular, free-living and mostly photosynthetic. This is also correct. Evolutionary pteridophytes, they are the first terrestrial plants with vascular tissues, correct. The gametophyte bears sporangia, which produces spores of similar kinds or of two kinds such as microspore, megaspore. This is wrong because it is not gametophyte, it is sporophyte. Next, the gametophyte is differentiated into true root, stem and leaves. This is also wrong because instead of gametophyte, this should be sporophyte. Sporophyte is differentiated into true root, stem and leaves. So in both these statements, instead of gametophyte, there should be sporophyte. Sporophyte bears sporangia, which produces spores of similar kinds or of two kinds such as microspores and megaspores. Okay guys, so A, B and C, A, B and C only, my dear students, is true. You are supposed to find out the true statements. So your answer is 1. Answer is 1. Clear? Simple? Which of the following is incorrect? Again, you are supposed to identify the incorrect. So which of the following is incorrect? So see over here the third statement. They are who? Incorrect about prions. So prions, if I see, my dear students, they are chemically made up of nucleic acid and protein. This is incorrect. And therefore, it becomes answer for this question. Please notice what are prions. Prions are abnormally folded proteins. So in this statement they have added they are made up of nucleic acid and protein, and that is why this statement is incorrect. What are prions? Abnormally folded proteins. Which of the following statement about prokaryotic cell is correct? Okay, so if you see over here, plasma membrane is the innermost layer of cell envelope, correct. Mesosome helps in DNA replication and secretion process, correct. Inclusion bodies are membrane bound and are involved in ingestion of food particles and their digestion. This is wrong. Chromatophores contain pigments in cyanobacterial cell. This is correct. Cell membrane of prokaryotic cell is structurally similar to that of eukaryotes. This is also correct. So statement A, B, D and E is correct. C is incorrect. Okay, so you are asked about find out the correct statement. So in the options, C should not be there. So if you see the first option, only A, B, D and E are correct. So 1 should be your right answer. So 1 should be your right answer. You have to exclude C. You have to exclude C. So only in the first option there is no C. A, B, D and E. All are mentioned except C. Simple answer is 1. Next question, guys. Bicarpellary gynosium with swollen axile placenta occurs in solanum. Very simple. In light reactions of photosynthesis, plastoquinone facilitates the transfer of electrons from PS2 to cytochrome B6F complex is correct. The enzyme NADP reductase is located on the lumen side of the thylakoid membrane. This is wrong. Why? Because this NADP reductase is located towards the stroma. It is facing the stromal side in the thylakoidal membrane. So definitely NADP reductase is in thylakoidal membrane, but it is facing the stroma. So we will say it is towards the stroma side. And here the statement says NADP reductase is located on the lumen side of the thylakoidal membrane. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Why statement 2 is incorrect? Because NADP reductase enzyme is located on stromal side of the thylakoid membrane. So 1 correct, 2 incorrect. So statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So 1 should be your right answer. 1 should be your right answer. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Simple. I hope it is clear and understandable. Next. Okay, very interesting question, guys. I hope you have tried this one. Very interesting, but very simple again. 3-phosphoglycerate, that is PGA, plus ATP plus NADPH is giving you PGAL. Beta, this is your C3 Kelvin cycle reaction. Succinic acid plus FAD giving you fumaric acid plus FADH2. This is Krebs cycle. So statement 1 is belonging to C3 cycle and the second is belonging to Krebs cycle. So that is why answer is 1. C3 cycle 1 and the second is belonging to Krebs cycle. Answer is 1. Interesting but yet simple. Cytochrome A and A3 are the components of, they are components of complex number 4 of mitochondrial ETS. Answer is 4. Simple. Next. Okay, so here it is about the hormones, plant hormones. Increases absorption surface by promoting root hair formation. It has to be ethylene. Internodal elongation in cabbage prior to flowering. That means, my dear students, bolting by GA. Increases tolerance to plants to various kinds of stresses. ABA. Promotes lateral shoot growth and adventitious shoot formation. Cytokinin 3. So 2, 4, 1 and 3. 2, 4, 1 and 3. So 1 should be your right answer. 1 should be your right answer. Very simple. Parental. So this statement has an interesting language, but the concept is simple. Parental chromosome replicates to produce identical sister chromatids in the pollen mother cell. So basically replication, where it is happening? S phase. Answer is 1, S phase. Next. Statement 1 says lysosomes contain hydrolytic enzymes for the digestion of macromolecules. That is correct. Hydrolytic enzymes of lysosomes are optimally active at the acidic pH. This is also correct. So both the statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So answer is 3. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Answer is 3, guys. Simple. Next. Cyclic flow of electrons in thylakoids result in the synthesis of ATP only. Please notice the question is about cyclic flow. And in cyclic flow, what will happen? Only ATP will be synthesized. So answer is 3, my lovely kids. Only ATP. Next. Identify the correct statement. Very interesting question from morphology, from leaf part basically. So leaves originate from shoot apical meristem, correct. In neem leaf, rachis represents the midrib and leaflets are seen on either side of the rachis, correct. In Alstonia, more than 2 leaves form a whorl at each node. This is also correct. Simple leaf never shows incisions in the lamina. This is wrong, right guys? So for example, this could also be a simple leaf. Why? Because it definitely has incisions, but the incisions are not reaching the midrib. Okay guys, incisions are not reaching the midrib. So a simple leaf is a leaf where the lamina is intact, or if there is incision, the incision should not reach the midrib, because in that case then the lamina will be divided into leaflets. So that is why the D statement is wrong, because it simply says simple leaves never show incisions. It can show incisions, but the incisions should not reach the midrib. So this is wrong. In silk cotton, leaflets are attached at the tip of petiole. This is also right. Purely NCERT. Very interesting question. So only D is incorrect. So if you see over here, the third option, A, B, C and E. So answer should be 3. Why answer should be 3? Because it is excluding, it is not having D statement. So answer is A, B, C and E only. 3. Simple. Next. An elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal is found in all except obvious answer 4, Markensia. Answer is 4, guys, Markensia. Next. Identify the incorrect statement. So if you see over here, the 4th statement, forming face of Golgi complex is concave and named as trans. So this is the incorrect statement. Why? Because the forming face of Golgi complex is convex and it is named as cis. So that is why the 4th option is wrong. Mobile carrier for transport of electrons between complex number 3 and 4 of mitochondrial ETS is cytochrome C. Answer is 3, guys. Answer is 3. Cytochrome C. Next. Radicle and plumule of seed of dicots are covered by coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. This is wrong. Coleoptile, coleorhiza, you will see, my dear students, in the embryo of monocots, and here they have written dicots. Reason. Statement says radicle and plumule are the part of embryo which develops from the zygote after syngamy. This is an individually right statement. So assertion is false but reason is true. So assertion is false but reason is true. Answer will be 4. Answer is 4. Simple. Next. Unbranched stem is found in, very obvious answer, cycas. Right, guys? So unbranched stem is found in, answer is 4, cycas. Next. Okay, again, lot of match the following in statement based questions. Hypocotyle. Hypocotyle portion of embryonal axis below the level of cotyledon, that is hypocotyle. Coleoptile. So if I talk about coleoptile, my dear students, it is a hollow foliar structure enclosing shoot apex in monocot embryo. Very good. 1, 2, 3. Aileron layer, protein-rich layer of endosperm in cereal grain. 1. Suspensor, it is the stalk-like structure of embryo. So, 4, 3, 1 and 2. 4, 3, 1, 2. 4, 3, 1 and 2. So, the correct answer is 2, my dear students. Okay, correct answer is 2. Next question. What is the probability of obtaining an offspring with homozygous recessive phenotype if a cross is made between a diploid homozygous recessive individual for a given trait with a heterozygous diploid individual? So see over here, this cross is like capital T small t crossed with small t small t. So this small t is what? Homozygous recessive individual with a heterozygous diploid. So this is heterozygous and this is homozygous recessive. This is the cross. So if you see over here, this is your monohybrid test cross. This is similar to a monohybrid test cross. So the result, if I talk about, it will be 1:1. And the phenotype ratio or the genotype ratio will be 1:1. So 50%. So if you see over here, my dear students, it is asking about probability of obtaining offspring with homozygous recessive. So homozygous recessive ka probability 50%. Why? Because this question is similar to, or this question is based on monohybrid test cross. And please notice, you might have studied in your classes, right, that in a monohybrid test cross, the phenotype ratio and genotype ratio is 1:1. So 50%. Next. Read the following statement. Pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants and is limited to about 30 genera, mostly dicot. No, it is mostly monocot. So this is wrong. Unisexual nature of flower prevents autogamy. This is right. Emasculation is not required in plants like papaya, which possess unisexual flower. Correct. Both oxalis and viola plant produces aerial cleistogamous flowers and underground chasmogamous. This is given in opposite, reverse way. So, chasmogamous flowers will be aerial and cleistogamous flowers are underground. So, this is wrong. Mucilaginous coating prevents wetting of pollen grains and majority of the water pollinated plant. This is correct. Guys, okay, so first statement is wrong because they should have mentioned monocots here, and the D statement is wrong because the cleistogamous flowers are underground and chasmogamous flowers are aerial. Next, so B is correct and C is correct and E is B, C, E. B, C, E, 2 is the right answer. 2 is the right answer. B, C and E only. Okay, next question on your screen. Phenylketonuria is an example of pleiotropy. This is correct from your NCERT. The disease phenylketonuria is caused by a mutation in which a gene coding for phenylalanine hydroxylase. Yeah, so if you see over here, let me read it again for you. The disease phenylketonuria is caused by a mutation in the gene which codes for phenylalanine hydroxylase. This is correct. So because this enzyme is not getting synthesized, so phenylalanine is not getting converted into tyrosine. This enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase was responsible for this. So both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So answer is 3. Okay guys, answer is 3. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. From the list given below, select the trait in P which can be expressed in homozygous condition only. So please notice, bacha, recessive traits are expressed only in homozygous condition. So if you see over here, the third option, green seed, this is the recessive trait. It will be expressed only in homozygous condition. So answer is 3, green seed, green color of the seed. Point mutation, very interesting question. Point mutation involves change of a single base pair in DNA. Correct. Point mutation. Reason statement says that sickle cell anemia is caused due to deletion. No, it is not because of deletion. It is because of substitution. So, sickle cell anemia is caused due to deletion of one base in the gene coding for beta chain of hemoglobin. This is wrong because instead of deletion, they must have written substitution for the correct statement. So, assertion is right, but reason is false. Assertion is true statement, but reason is false. Answer is 3. Yes, guys? Very simple. Answer is 3. Next. Severo-Ochoa enzyme, very simple from your NCERT, polynucleotide phosphorylase. So what is your Severo-Ochoa enzyme? Polynucleotide phosphorylase. Answer is 3. Which of the following is correctly matched? The first one in fact is correctly matched. In E. coli there are 4.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 base pairs. So answer is 1. Next. Okay, again, statement-based question. A lot of statement-based questions. A single DNA dependent RNA polymerase catalyzes transcription of all types of RNAs in bacteria. This is a right statement. In prokaryotes, transcription and translation takes place in the same compartment as there is no separation of cytosol and nucleus. This is also correct. So if you see over here, both the statements are correct. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So correct answer is 3. Identify the incorrectly matched pair among the following. So obviously the fourth statement. So in the fourth statement, they have mentioned Streptococcus is doing cheese production. This is wrong. Streptococcus bacteria is responsible for producing streptokinase. So fourth is the incorrectly matched. HNRNA is found in eukaryotic cell is formed as a result of. So it is formed because of the catalytic activity of RNA polymerase 2 from DNA. So answer is 2. Catalytic activity of RNA polymerase 2 from DNA. Answer is 2, guys. Next question. Very simple AR this is. Law of dominance explains the proportion of 3:1 in F2 generation of monohybrid cross. Correct. In a dissimilar pair of factors, heterozygous condition, one member of pair dominates the other. For example, capital T and small t. This is a heterozygous pair of factors. So here one factor will dominate. So in this capital T will dominate on small t. So that is why the phenotype is going to be tall. The trait is going to be the dominant one, that is tall. So in a pair of dissimilar factor, heterozygous condition, one member of the pair dominates the other one. As a result, heterozygous individual with dominant phenotype in Mendelian monohybrid cross. So yes, this is also correct. So assertion is also correct, reason is also correct, and reason is also explaining the assertion. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. So answer should be 1. Simple, guys. Next, which of the following is incorrect? Which of the following is incorrect statement about apomixis? So the fourth statement, if you see, it is a form of sexual reproduction is wrong because apomixis is a form of asexual reproduction. So writing sexual reproduction for apomixis is incorrect. So answer is 4. Why? Because apomixis is a form of asexual reproduction. Next. Archegonia, very interesting from your plant kingdom chapter, gymnosperms. Archegonia are formed in the megasporangium of, answer is 2, pinus. Only Pinus is the example here from gymnosperm. Pisum, sativum, that is your pea, mango, citrus, all are angiosperms. Only Pinus is the one that belongs to gymnosperm. And in gymnosperms, archegonia are formed in the meghasporangium. Right? Simple. Next. Okay, so these are the points you have to read and describe the organism. Majority are marine forms. Major pigments are chlorophyll A, D and phycoerythrin. It is indicating red algae, rhodophyceae. Cell walls contain polysulfide ester. Yes, rhodophyceae. Flagella are usually absent, rhodophyceae or red algae. So answer is 3, rhodophyceae or red algae. Answer is 3. Rhodophyceae or red algae. Answer is 3, guys. Next, the embryo of which of the following has the epiblast? So, bacha, the answer should be 4. So, in monocots, example grasses, the embryo has epiblast. Epiblast is that rudimentary cotyledon. In monocots, example grasses. So, the correct answer is 4. Next, which statement about Kelvin cycle is false? So, if you see over here, the 4th statement, Kelvin cycle occurs in mesophyll cell of C4 plant. This is wrong. Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle in C4 plants will takes place in bundle sheath cell and bundle sheath cell of C3. So, this is also wrong. Both the parts of this statement are wrong. That means it becomes the right answer. So, it becomes the right answer for this question. So, which statement about Kelvin cycle is false? The 4th statement. Why? Because in C4 plants, 2 types of photosynthetic cells will participate, mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell. The Kelvin cycle in C4 plants will be operational in bundle sheath cell. But when we talk about C3 plants, in C3 plants, the Kelvin cycle will be operational in the mesophyll cell of C3 plants. So, that is why this statement is wrong. Answer is 4. Okay, so identify the incorrect statement. Identify the incorrect statement among the following. So, very simple, the second statement, very simple to identify. Viruses are employed as biofertilizers in biogas production, in sewage treatment plant and in synthesis of fermented beverages. Ye incorrect hai. Okay, so this second statement is incorrect, second statement. So, your answer is 2, my dear students. Next, in simple terms, this is a very interesting line and it is from your NCERT. Okay guys, from your DNA fingerprinting topic in molecular basis of inheritance. So, in simple terms, if an inheritable mutation is observed in a population at a high frequency, then it is referred to as DNA polymorphism. Answer is 2, DNA polymorphism. Next question. So, answer is 2, my dear students. DNA polymorphism. This is a line straight from your NCERT from DNA fingerprinting. DNA polymorphism. Answer is 2. Next, competition is best described as a process in which fitness of one species is significantly lower in presence of the another species. This is right. In interference competition, the feeding efficiency of one species increases. This is wrong. Okay, it's not increasing, it is decreasing, or you can say maybe reduced. So, in interference competition, the feeding efficiency of one species increases due to interfering and inhibitory presence of the other species, even if resources are abundant. The reason is wrong because of this word increases here. So, assertion is correct but reason is false. So, assertion is true but reason is false. So, your correct answer is 4, bacha. Your correct answer is 4, right? I hope this is clear. I know these words might be very small and tiny for you to read, so that is why I have slowly read each and every word from the statement. And for this question, assertion was correct, reason is incorrect because the word increases is written over here. And the correct answer is assertion is true but reason is false. So, in the 4th statement, assertion is true but reason is false. So, your correct answer is 4. Clear? Okay. I hope it is clear now. So, next one. Humus undergoes decomposition at an extremely slow rate. This is right. Humus is highly resistant to microbial action. This is the right reason also for it. So both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct answer is 1. Next. Okay, again, multiple statement based question. No energy that is trapped in an organism remain in it forever. This is correct. The detritus food chain begins with a dead organic matter. Correct. In an aquatic ecosystem, DFC is the major conduit for energy flow. This is wrong. Why? Because in aquatic ecosystem, it is the GFC which is the major conduit or channel for energy flow. So C is wrong. Because of DFC it is wrong. It should be GFC. Some of the organisms of DFC are prey to the GFC animal. This is also correct. So which of the following above are incorrect? So if you see over here, from A, B, C, D, only C is incorrect. So answer is 3. Answer is 3. Only C is incorrect. Okay guys, you can see the question now very nicely. Next, tropics have greater biological diversity than temperate because the tropical latitudes had a long evolutionary time for species diversification. The first is in fact absolutely correct. So in this question, 1 is the right answer. Next, read the following statement regarding human genome. The largest known human gene is located on the first chromosome. No, it is on the X chromosome. Scientists have identified 1.4 billion. No, it is not billion, it is million. So that is why this is also wrong. Y chromosome has 231 genes. That is right. The average gene consists of 3000 bases. That is also correct. So which of the following above are correct? So if you see, A and B are incorrect, C and D only. So correct answer is 1. C and D is correct. So 1 is the right answer. Next, identify the incorrect statement from the following. In general, carnivores appear to be more adversely affected by competition than herbivores. This is the incorrect one. Why? Because the correct statement is, in general, herbivore and plants appear to be more adversely affected by competition than carnivore. So reverse is written. So the statement 1, my dear students, itself is the incorrect one. You can see, let me know if there is any doubt. Next, plants have evolved an astonishing variety of morphological and chemical defense against herbivore. That is correct. The problem of predation is particularly severe for plants because unlike animals, they cannot run away from the predators. This is also right and the correct reason for the assertion. So here the answer should be both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. Answer is 1 guys, right? Both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So answer is 1. The historic convention of biological diversity, the Earth Summit held in Rio, was in the year 1992. Answer is 3 guys. Very simple. Please remember these years. Answer is 3, 1992. This is the last question. Which of the following, read the following statement and here you are supposed to find out the correct ones. Population ecology links ecology to population genetics and evolution. Correct line from NCERT. A population has certain attributes that an individual does not have. Yes. An individual has birth rate and death rate. No. An individual has birth and death. But population has birth rate and death rate. So this is wrong. If a new habitat is just being colonized, immigration may contribute more significantly to population growth than birth rate. This is also right. So A is correct, B is correct and D is correct. A, B and D. So answer is 4. Yes guys, the correct answer is 4. Why? Because the C statement is incorrect. So you are supposed to exclude C. So if you see, A is correct, B is correct and D is correct. And in the option, A, B and D is mentioned. So correct answer is 4. Okay guys, and that's all, my dear students from botany. The remaining questions from zoology will be discussed now. Bye-bye. Take care.
Hello, a very good evening everyone. This is Dr. Priyanka Day and today now we are going to discuss the questions of zoology. So hope you all are ready for it. Okay, so let's see what is the first question on your screen. So this is the question. Try this one and let me know the answer in the chat box. Following exhalation of the ideal tidal volume, the additional volume of air a person can expire by a forcible expiration. Okay, so when you are done exhaling the tidal volume, the additional volume of air that you can exhale, okay, so that will be expiratory reserve volume, okay, which is 1000 to 1100 ml. So correct answer is A. So let's move on to our next question. Read the question carefully. A question from again breathing and exchange of gases chapter. So receptors associated with the aortic arch and carotid artery can recognize changes in carbon dioxide and H+ concentration and send the necessary signals to. So remember that these chemoreceptors are sensitive only to a change in the carbon dioxide concentration. When PCO2 is increasing and H+ ion is increasing, they are activated and they will send the signals to the rhythm center, respiratory rhythm center, okay, which is present in the medulla oblongata. So correct answer is 4. Next, which of the following is incorrect about pleurobrachia? So if you recall what is pleurobrachia, remember it is a ctenophora. So let's read one by one about it. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Sexes are separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. So we need to find out here incorrect statement. Pay attention to these terms, correct, incorrect in the question, right? So what is incorrect is sexes are separate, okay? So they are hermaphrodite or bisexual. Rest other statements are right. Next. Choose the incorrect statement about echinoderm. Again, we need to find out the incorrect statement. The most distinctive feature is the presence of water vascular system. So when we talk about echinodermata, definitely they have a water vascular system. Water canal system is there in porifera. So this is right. An excretory system is absent. Yes. Fertilization is usually internal and development is indirect with free swimming larvae. So remember, fertilization in them, okay, will not be internal, it is external. So answer here is 3. Next. Select the incorrect statement about petromyzin. So petromyzin is lamprey and they are cyclostomata and they don't have jaws. So they are classified under Agnatha, right? So we need to find out again the incorrect statement related to them. The body is devoid of scale and unpaired fins. So remember that their body is devoid of scales and paired fins, okay? So this is incorrect here. They don't have paired fins. The cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous, correct. It is a marine animal, yes. 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits are present. So what is incorrect here is the first option, okay. Next, study the following statement. So we have here few statements that we need to read and we need to find out here the correct statement. Jaws with small teeth are present in cyclostomes. So they don't have jaws. So they are classified under cyclostomata or Agnatha. This is wrong. Fertilization is external in reptiles. So fertilization is internal. The digestive tract of birds have additional chambers, crop and gizzard. That is right. Crop for storage and gizzard for grinding. Long bones are pneumatic in bird. So pneumatic bones are the bones with air cavities that make their weight light and because of which they can fly. So it is a very good adaptation for flying. Okay, so this is also true. C and D will be the correct answer. Yes, so correct answer is 1. Next. Sterilization. So when we talk about sterilization, it is vasectomy. When the vas deferens is cut and tied, it is termed as sterilization. So it will be matched with 4. IUDs. Right, so we have 3 options left: decrease sperm motility, inhibit ovulation and implantation, ideal for females who want to delay pregnancy and to space children. So IUDs will be matched with 3. Oral contraceptive pills, right? Oral contraceptive pills can have progesterone or can have combination of estrogen and progesterone. So definitely they will inhibit the ovulation and implantation. Coming to multiload 375, this is copper releasing IUD. It decreases the sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of the sperm. Okay, so that's why correct answer now we know should be 4, because A is matched with 4, B with 3, C with 2 and D with 1. Next, study the following statement. So 4 statements we have here. The epithelial cells are compactly packed with an extensive intercellular matrix. Remember, in epithelial tissue, the matrix and intercellular substances are less. So this is wrong. Simple columnar ciliated epithelium forms lining of the stomach and the intestine. So ciliated epithelium is not present in stomach or intestine. It is present in bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Tight junction help to stop substances from leaking across the tissue. Yes, this is right. Epithelial tissue are the most abundant and widely distributed in the body of the complex animal. So most abundant tissue is connective tissue and not the epithelial tissue. So this is also incorrect. So we need here incorrect statements. It should be A, B and D. That means 2. Next. So we have 2 statements. We need to figure out the correct one. Statement 1 says, smooth muscles are involuntary as their functioning cannot be directly controlled. So remember that smooth muscles are not under our control. So yes, they are involuntary. Cell junctions hold smooth muscle fiber together and they are bundled together in a connective tissue sheath. Yes, this is also correct for smooth muscles. Both the statements are correct. That means the correct answer should be 1. Okay, very good. Keep it up. Most of you are telling the right answer. Very nice. Which of the following is characterized by stunted growth, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient and abnormal skin and deaf mutism? So all these are characteristics of cretinism. So when mother suffers from hypothyroidism because of deficiency of iodine, the baby will suffer from cretinism. That is again hypothyroidism with all these characteristic features. So here the answer will be cretinism or 4. Next. Chorda tendina are thread-like structures attached to the flap of bicuspid and tricuspid valve at one end, and their other ends are attached to papillary muscles in the ventricles. So it will be papillary muscles. That means 2. Next. The primary oocyte completes its first meiotic division in. So remember that the first meiotic division in primary oocyte will complete and there will be formation of a secondary oocyte, right? And this meiosis 1 will be completed only after puberty and in the tertiary follicle. So answer should be 3, that is tertiary follicle. Next. Match list 1 with list 2. Physical barrier is skin and mucous membrane, that is physically not allowing the microbes or pathogens to enter our body. So physical barrier will be matched with mucous coating. Cellular barrier, the cells which are present like the neutrophils, which are phagocytic cells, so we will match it with neutrophils. Cytokine barrier. Cytokine barrier example will be interferons and physiological barrier example will be tears. So A is matched with 4, okay. B is matched with 1, C is matched with 3. So we got our answer, it should be 3, okay. Next question for you, read the statements carefully and let me know the correct answer. So statement 1 says the vaccines which contain weakened pathogen generate memory B and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overwhelmed the invader with a massive production of antibodies, right? So here we are talking about the vaccines that contain weakened pathogens, right? Now let's read statement 2. The use of drugs like antihistamine, adrenaline and steroids quickly reduce the symptoms of allergy. So regarding these two statements, remember that this is also correct because we know that in vaccines there are weakened or attenuated pathogen. Okay, now that will help to activate our immune response. There will be formation of memory B and T cells that will help us for a quick secondary response when our body is actually attached by the pathogens, right? So this is true. Now similarly, we know that at the time of allergy, which is because of histamine, so it can be controlled by using antihistamine, adrenaline and steroid. So both the statements are correct. Answer should be 1. Next. Again we have assertion and reason question for you. Antigen sensitive lymphocytes become active and proliferative to become effector cell in the secondary lymphoid organ. Okay. Secondary lymphoid organ provide the site for the interaction of mature lymphocyte with the antigen. So always remember, primary lymphoid organ will be bone marrow and thymus, where there will be production of lymphocytes, and in fact they will mature also in these two organs. Whereas other lymphoid organs like the tonsils, like the spleen, appendix, all these will be the secondary lymphoid organ where the lymphocytes will do its work, right? So remember that both the assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion, because see, reason is saying that secondary lymphoid organ provide the site for the interaction of the mature lymphocyte, right? So that's why it is explaining that antigen sensitive lymphocyte become active and proliferative to become effector cell in the secondary lymphoid organ. So reason is explaining the assertion. Okay, so that's why the answer should be 1. Next. Which of the following contains centers for the urge to eat and drink? Okay, so hunger center and thirst center, in fact satiety center will only be present in the hypothalamus, right? So answer should be 4. Find out the incorrect statement from the following. Let's read all the statement and let's figure out the correct answer. HIV/AIDS spreads only through body fluid. The macrophages act like an HIV factory. Line of NCERT. HIV infection more often spreads inadvertently like pneumonia or typhoid. A widely used diagnostic test for AIDS is ELISA. So here we need to figure out the incorrect statement, right? Now remember, HIV/AIDS spreads only through body fluids will be wrong. Rest others are true. So yeah, but when we talk about HIV or AIDS, yes, we know that body fluids will be the major reason, right? Whenever there is exchange of body fluids, then only the HIV infection will spread, like when having unprotected sexual intercourse or when there is infected blood transfusion. So this is also correct. HIV infection more often spreads advertently like pneumonia or typhoid. This is wrong. Okay, when we talk about HIV infection, it will not spread by droplet infection like the pneumonia, or it will not be spreading by fecal-oral route by eating contaminated food or water. So definitely this is wrong. Okay, so what is wrong here will be 3. So answer should be 3. Okay, next. Assertion says cancer cells just continue to divide, giving rise to masses of cells called tumors. This is right. Cancer cells appear to have lost the contact inhibition property. Yes. So what happens when a normal cell grows and multiplies, and when it comes in contact with the other cell, it stops dividing. So this is contact inhibition. But what happens in case of cancer cells? Okay. Even when it comes in contact with other cells, it keeps on dividing and multiplying. So the property of contact inhibition is lost in cancerous cells, right? So correct answer will be A. Assertion is true, reason is true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Analogous organ have the same structure. So analogous stands for different structure and same function, right? So here they are saying that it has same structure. No, that is homologous organ. So this is wrong. Homologous organ have different structure. No, they have same structure but different function. So both of them are wrong. Analogous organ, similar habitat that has resulted in the selection of similar adaptive feature in different group of organism but towards the same function. And what is biochemical similarity? It is given do not indicate the same shared ancestry as structural similarity among the diverse organism. So in the question we are asked about the correct statement and it should be 3. Okay. Next. Flame cells for osmoregulation and excretion will be there in planaria. Malpighian tubules are there in arthropoda, so I will match it with Anopheles. Coxal gland, okay, will be there in the limulus. Nephridia in earthworm, that is Ferritima, and metanephridia in Unio, right? So we have here correct answer as 3. Okay, next. So now here again we have one match the following question. Let's do it. 25 to 30 grams of urea is excreted per day. So we will match it with the 2. 125 ml, okay, per minute or 180 liters per day will be the GFR. So we will match it with 4. 1500 ml, right? So we have 1500 ml urine excreted per day and 70 to 80% electrolytes and water reabsorption from PCT. So A is matched with 2, B is matched with 4. Okay, so we got our answer. It should be 2. Next. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism involving. So oxytocin plays a very important role in parturition. Okay. So we have here options like 1, 2, 3, 4 and combination of estrogen, oxytocin, cortisol, inhibin, progesterone. But remember that oxytocin is important. So wherever oxytocin is not there, we will eliminate it. This could not be the answer. So here we have correct answer as estrogen, oxytocin, cortisol, right? So all these will increase at the time of parturition. So prolactin is there only for production of milk, so it will not play a major role in the parturition process. Same is with thyroxine, okay? And we know that progesterone maintains the thickness of endometrium lining. So wherever in the option progesterone is there, again it will not be considered. Progesterone level should go down at the time of parturition and estrogen level should increase, okay? A fall in progesterone and estrogen levels leads to the, okay, so definitely progesterone maintains the thickness of endometrium lining and estrogen is responsible for increasing the thickness of endometrium lining. So if it is reducing, that means there will be shedding of the endometrium lining. So correct answer should be 1. Next, assume that toxicity testing is carried out using both non-transgenic and transgenic mice, in which case can result be obtained in a shorter time. So we are using transgenic animals to check for the safety and to check for the results of the toxicity of new chemicals that we don't know, right? So what happens in transgenic animals, the result will be seen faster. That's why we are using transgenic mice or other animals. So both of them will give the same result in the same time, then there is no point in using transgenic mice. The non-transgenic mice will give result in less time. This is wrong. Then why we are using transgenic mice? The transgenic mice will give result in less time than the non-transgenic mice, as the former are less sensitive to the toxic substance being studied. Okay. So by former here we mean transgenic mice, but it is more sensitive towards the chemical. That's how we have designed them. Now the transgenic mice are made more sensitive to the toxic substance, hence they give result faster than the non-transgenic mice. So this should be the correct answer. Okay, so be careful, it might look correct but it is not. So correct answer here should be 4. Next, SCID, severe combined immunodeficiency is because of ADA deficiency. Rosie is transgenic cow whose milk is similar to the milk of human female. So it has alpha-lactalbumin. Now Down syndrome have palm crease and emphysema can be treated by alpha-1 antitrypsin. So correct answer here, that's why should be 1. Proinsulin differ from mature insulin in the. So remember, in proinsulin there is A, B and C, all the 3 peptide chain. But in mature insulin there will be only A chain and B chain and C chain is not there. Okay. So what is different? Number of disulfide bond, number of amino acid in B chain, number of amino acid in A chain, or number of polypeptide chain. So mature insulin only have 2 chains. Okay. So answer is 4. Next. Plants have evolved an astonishing variety of morphological and chemical defense against herbivores. The problem of predation is particularly severe for plant because unlike animal, they cannot run away from the predator. So this is absolutely true. Assertion is correct, reason is correct, and reason is even the correct explanation of assertion. Right? The QRS complex in ECG represents. Remember, ECG is very important for NEET exam. Even question came in NEET 2024. So when we talk about QRS complex, okay, it denotes us or give us an idea of depolarization of ventricles. That means contraction of both the ventricles. Okay, so it is not giving us an idea of ventricular repolarization or ventricular relaxation. So it gives us an idea of ventricular depolarization, okay, or relaxation of ventricle or the contraction of ventricle. So the correct answer should be 3. Let's move on to the next question. Congestive heart failure is a state of heart when it is not pumping blood effectively enough to meet the needs of the body. Yes, this is the exact definition of congestive cardiac failure. Heart muscles do not receive sufficient blood due to coronary artery disease. Now this is also true. So when we talk about coronary artery disease, options or examples could be atherosclerosis and arteriosclerosis. So both the statements are true. So answer should be 1. The globular head of the meromyosin is an active ATPase enzyme and has binding site for ATP and actin. So when we talk about myosin filament, so heavy meromyosin, okay, will be having the site for the binding of ATP and ATPase activity. It also has the site for the binding of actin. So this is right. A complex protein, tropomyosin, is distributed at regular interval on the troponin. So this is wrong because when we talk about actin, it has the F-actin and then at regular intervals troponin and filamentous tropomyosin. So this is wrong. Okay, so answer should be 1 is correct but 2 is incorrect. That means 2. Next, read the following statement. All the blood cells including lymphocytes are produced in bone marrow. So this is right. Both bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironment for the development and maturation of B lymphocyte. Yes, this is correct. Spleen act as a filter of the blood by trapping lymph-borne microorganism. So blood-borne microorganism should be there. Spleen has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. Yes. So we need here the correct statement. So it should be A, B and D. So correct answer should be, okay, so correct answer is A and D. I'll tell you why correct answer is A and D, because B is also wrong. Here they are saying that both bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironment for the development and maturation of B lymphocyte. So we know that B lymphocytes matures in the bone marrow and not in the thymus, right? So correct answer, that's why will be A and D. Okay, so B and C will be wrong. Next question. Which of the following passes through the midbrain? So from the midbrain, cerebral aqueduct will pass, which is filled with CSF. So correct answer should be 3. Right? Okay. Hypersecretion of thyroxine causes hyperthyroidism. Okay, and hyperthyroidism will be, myxedema is hypothyroidism in adult. Weight loss will be because of hyperthyroidism. So this is the correct answer. Tetany, okay, is not related to the thyroxine hormone, and weight gain is again because of hypothyroidism. So when we are talking about hypersecretion of thyroxine, hyperthyroidism, there will be weight loss. Okay, so weight loss will be the correct answer. That means 1. Addison's disease is caused by the underproduction of glucocorticoid, oversecretion of glucocorticoid, oversecretion of aldosterone, or hypersecretion of PTH. So PTH has nothing to do with the Addison's disease. Okay, and then again oversecretion is not the cause for Addison's disease. It should be underproduction of glucocorticoid. So correct answer should be 1. Okay, now read the following statement and let's see. Seaweed and a few plants existed probably around 320 million years ago, right? So we need to find out here the correct statement. Homo sapiens are in Africa, right? Homo habilis had a large brain around 900 cc. Evidence showing that Australopithecines hunted with stone weapons and essentially ate meat, right? So they were not eating meat. Seaweeds and a few plants probably around 320 million years ago. So correct answer should be 4, right? So with this we have completed the discussion of the zoology portion. So see you again in the next class.
Hello students, so how was your paper, right? Okay, just let me know that how much marks you are going to expect, and now we are going to start the discussion of our physics paper. Okay, all right, so the first question is from the units and measurement. What this question says is that a calorie is a unit of heat and equals to 4.2 joule, right? So we know that 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule given in the question. Okay, suppose we employ a system of units in which the unit of mass, okay, so now there is a different system we have to create where unit of mass will be taken as alpha kg, for the length beta meter, and for the time we have to use gamma seconds. So in this new system, 1 calorie is given as x times the new units. We have to calculate the value of x. Okay, so how we have to do is, let us start from this equation. We can write down that 1 calorie is equal to x new unit, right? Okay, now we know that 1 calorie can be written as 4.2 joule. Let's write down calorie as 4.2 joule. Instead of calorie, I am writing here 4.2 joule. X I will copy as it is. Now I have to put here new unit, right? So what is the method? Since we are talking about energy, we know that the dimensional formula for energy is m power 1, L power 2, and T divided by T power 2. Okay, kg meter square per second square. So for the new unit, instead of this m, I am going to put alpha kg. So that alpha kg will come over here. Power is 1. For the length, we have beta meter. Power I will use as 2. In the denominator, we have gamma second, and here also power is 2. Okay, all right. Now let's simplify. 4.2 joule, I will write down this as it is, x as it is, alpha power 1, beta power 2, and gamma power minus 2. And what are the remaining terms? Remaining terms will be kg meter square per second square, right? Now guys, we know that this portion is same as 1 joule, hence this and this will get cancelled out. So x will be equal to 4.2 as it is. Take all the terms in the denominator and then move it in the numerator. I am going to get alpha power minus 1, beta minus 2, and gamma plus 2, right? Let's see which one matches. So option 4 is going to be your correct answer, right? I hope this is clear. Let's move on to our next question, guys. All right, so this is from again units and measurement. Okay, and the question says that we have a vernier caliper and the smallest division on the main scale is given as 1 mm. So the main scale, the smallest value is given to us as 1 millimeter. Okay, and it is also given that 10 vernier division will coincide with 9 main scale division, right? It means that 1 vernier can be written as 9m by 10. Let us try to calculate the least count from here. least count, we know that is equal to 1 main scale division minus 1 vernier scale division. Okay, let's put vernier over here, 9m divided by 10. After simplifying, we are going to get as m by 10. If capital M is 1 mm, we are going to get here as 0.1 mm, or in centimeter we can write down this as 0.01 centimeter. So this is the least count, guys. Okay. All right. Now we are going to measure the diameter of a sphere. The zero mark on the vernier scale lies between 2.0 and 2.1 centimeter. Okay. If this is the main scale, this is 2.0, this is 2.1, then vernier is somewhere over here. So the zero of the vernier, we can clearly see that 2.0 is on the left side. So when I'm going to write down the observed reading, in the observed reading, I have to take 2.0, units are in centimeter, plus now I have to see what is which division of vernier is coinciding. Fifth division is coinciding, multiply by the least count, which is 0.01 centimeter. Okay, so we are going to get 2.05 centimeter, and there is no zero error given in this question. So 2.05 will be my correct answer. Let's go ahead to our next question. All right. So here we have 4 graphs given to us, and we need to figure out that which of them is possible, which of them is not possible, right? Okay. So here the axis is time. Guys, time cannot be negative, right? Straight away, all the graph where the time is negative, we can reject. This is not possible, time is negative. Here time is negative, not possible. Here also time is negative, not possible. And what about this one? Here time is positive, so let's think more about that. Here we have total path length. Total path length means what? It means distance, okay? Now, if a body starts from one point, and let's say the body is following a circular path, and if it goes like this, it will have the distance equal to its circumference, but the displacement will be 0. We know regarding the distance can always increase. It can never be decreased, right? Here the graph says that first the distance is increasing, then decreasing and becoming 0. So this is not possible. The distance has to always increase. All the 4 graphs, they are wrong. So fourth option will be your correct answer. Okay. Let's go ahead to our next question. This is from the projectile motion. 2 stones are projected simultaneously with the same speed. Speed is same, guys. Okay. From the same point. The range of both of them, it is also same and equal to this much, right? So whenever the range is same, we know that it is possible for theta angle and 90 minus theta angle, right? Okay. Then the difference in their time of flight is how much? Okay. So to calculate the time of flight, basically what we need is the angle by which it was thrown. Okay. So we know that the formula for range is u square sine 2 theta by g. Let us put the value of range over here, that is 5 root 3. U is your initial speed, that is 10. Let's put here 100. This is sine 2 theta divided by g. Okay, so this will get cancelled out, and here you will get sine 2 theta is root 3 by 2. It means that 2 theta will be equal to 60 degree. It means theta will be equal to 30 degree, right? So which are the 2 angles? The pair is 30 and 60. These are the 2 angles for which the stone number 1 was thrown and stone number 2 was thrown. Okay. Now I want to calculate the difference in their time of flight. We know the formula for the time of flight. T is equal to 2u sine theta by g. Okay. So let's say this is the value of T1, stone number 1. For stone number 2, we will have 2u sine. Instead of theta, we will put here 90 minus theta. Or if this theta is, let's say, 30 degree, then this value we have to take as 60 degree divided by g. Put the values, take the difference, get the answer, right? If T1 minus T2 is coming negative, it means that T2 was greater, so better you do T2 minus T1, okay? Here T2 minus T1 will give you the difference, and that will be equal to root 3 minus 1 second, okay? I hope this is clear. Let's move forward. Now, one end of a string of length L connected to a particle of mass M and other to a small peg on a smooth horizontal table. Okay. So let us suppose we have a smooth horizontal table, and over here one end of the string is connected to the table itself, and this is the bob, and this is the string, and it is doing a circular motion on the smooth horizontal table. Okay, the velocity or the speed is given as v. The net force on the particle directed towards the center will be how much? So towards the center, the force acting will be the tension due to the string, and this is the tension which is going to provide the necessary centripetal force. Hence, we can write down this as T mv square by r, right? So I have to look for the option, either T should be in the option or only mv square by r should be in the option. T is in the option, this is the correct answer. If there is again option number 5 which says just mv square by L, then I can say this is also the correct answer. Okay, alright. Let's move on to our next question. An object of 6 kg is in the state of limiting equilibrium on an inclined plane having angle of inclination as 30 degree. So this is one inclined plane, angle of inclination is 30 degree, body is over here, mg sine theta will be acting in this direction, and limiting friction is acting in this direction. Okay, and because it is just in the limiting equilibrium, we can directly use 10 30 degree should be equal to the value of coefficient of friction. Okay, we can also write down equation and equate it. We can write down this as mg sine theta, sine 30 degree will be mg by 2, and then we can write down FL as equal to mu into n can be written as mg cos 30 degree. If I'll equate both of them, again you will get the value of mu as, the value of mu will be equal to 1 by root 3. Okay. Now if the angle of inclination is increased to 60 degree, now we are going to increase the angle. Now this angle is becoming 60 degree. Then how the free body diagram will look like? I'm going to apply the gravity over here like this. This will be mg sine 60, hence I have to write down here mg times root 3 by 2, okay? And because still it is on the verge of slipping, the friction acting here will be FL. FL I already know, it can again be written as mu mg root 3 by 2, or FL is same as mg by 2, I can directly write here down here that FL is equal to mg by 2. And to make it stop to slide, the minimum force required should be applied in the upward direction, right? So F minimum applied should be equal to how much? How to calculate? This value should be equal to F minimum plus mg by 2, okay? So if we'll do the calculation, we'll get our correct answer, guys. Okay, so option 2 will be your correct answer. Okay, all right. Let's move on to our next question. We have two statements. We want to figure it out which of the statement is correct and which is incorrect. The first statement says that the work energy theorem holds in all inertial frame. Okay, so if I have to write down the work energy theorem, then on left side we will have the work done by conservative forces, work done by non-conservative forces, work done by external forces. If my frame is non-inertial, then work done by pseudo forces will also come, and everything should be equal to delta K. Okay, the statement says that work energy theorems holds in all inertial frame. Of course, it can also be extended to non-inertial frame provided that we include the work done of pseudo forces, right? So if this is there, then work energy theorem is applicable. Statement 1 is a true statement. Now statement 2 says the principle of conservation of mechanical energy may be viewed as a consequence of the work energy theorem for conservative forces only, right? So as per the statement 2, if I put this term as 0, this term as 0, and this term as 0, in such a way that only the work done of conservative forces are there, and that is equal to delta K, then this equation will lead to law of conservation of mechanical energy. Basically, from here we can say that the gain in kinetic is equal to loss in potential or vice versa. Okay, so both of the statements are correct. Both the statements are correct. Option 3 will be your correct answer. Next question. The instantaneous angular position of a point, so theta as a function of time is given to us. Torque on the wheel becomes 0. So if the torque is 0, it means angular acceleration should also be equal to 0. Let us try to differentiate this theta. We will get angular velocity omega s 60 square minus 12t. If I'll again differentiate this, I will get 12t minus 12. Let's put alpha equal to 0. From here we'll get t equal to 1 second. So option 2 will be your right answer. Okay. Next question. 4 particles A, B, C, D are given. So okay, this is the origin, x direction, y direction. Okay. A, B, C, D are the 4 particles. They have different masses. Values of mass are given to us. Their accelerations are shown, the directions are shown in the figure. The value of acceleration, this A, all are same. We want to find the acceleration of the center of mass. Okay. So acceleration of center of mass, vector form, will be equal to m1a1 plus m2a2 plus m3a3 plus m4a4 divided by the summation of all the masses. Okay, so let's start from body number A. So body A has a mass of m. Going in the negative x direction, we'll put this as minus a I. Body second, that is B, has a mass of 2m. Going in the positive y direction, so I'll put here plus a j cap. Then next we have our body C going in the positive x, so that will be plus ai. And the next body has a mass of 4m going in the negative j cap, and the sum of all the masses, so this will be equal to 10m. Simplify, get the answer. Your answer will be the first option. Okay, I hope this is clear. Direct question, not to worry at all. Next one, this is from the Kepler's law. So this is the sun and the planet is going in the elliptical trajectory. A, B, C, these are the 3 key points given to us. At these points, kinetic energies we have to compare. Okay. Now, one of the law of Kepler says that angular momentum is conserved. So angular momentum is equal to mRV. This is equal to constant. So wherever the radius is less, velocity will be high. Hence, kinetic energy will be high. Where the radius is less, at point A, radius is less, so kinetic energy will be highest. So kinetic energy at A highest and at C lowest. Option 2, very simple. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's go ahead to our next question. This is from the mechanical properties of solids. So what is given? A steel wire, mass m, another brass wire, mass 2m. Ratio of length, radius and Young modulus, that is given. So one of the ratio of length is A, ratio of radii is B, ratio of Young modulus is C. So what will be the corresponding ratio of increase in their length? Okay, we know that Young modulus can be given as stress by strain. We can write down equation like this, cross multiply. Delta L we need to figure out. So FL divided by AY. I can write it like this. Okay. Now, what is F? F is the tension in the steel and the brass wire. So, for the brass wire, how much will be the tension T? Tension at the brass wire will be equal to 2 mg. And how much will be the tension at the steel wire? Steel wire is holding both the blocks together. 3 mg will be the tension over here, right? We have to maintain the ratio of steel divided by brass, right? Now, the ratio of delta L will be equal to ratio of F. Now, the ratio of F, steel upon brass, is 3 by 2. So, instead of F, I am writing 3 by 2. Ratio of the length is small a. So, ratio of the length, I am going to write here small a. Ratio of radii is B. Area is pi r square. So, here this will be B ka square. And the ratio of Young modulus is given to us as C. So, guys, that is your answer. It's matching with the second one. Okay, let's go ahead to our next question. It's a theoretical question regarding the surface tension. First statement says that surface tension of liquids generally decrease with rise in temperature. This is a true statement. Okay, a similar type of statement for the gases is also asked. Keep it in mind. In the gases, if I increase temperature, that is regarding the viscosity. Let's go to second statement. The angle of contact of mercury with glass is obtuse. The reason being because mercury is non-wettable with respect to the glass. That's why it is obtuse. And with water it is acute. So again, this statement will be a true statement. The third one, a drop of liquid under no external forces is always spherical in shape. Yes, the reason is because of the surface tension. Okay, so all the molecules which are at the outside perimeter, they have a net force towards the bulk, and because of this 90-degree structure, the shape will be equal to spherical, and the total potential energy will be minimum only for the spherical shape. This is also a true statement. So all the statements, they are correct. Okay. The next question is from the viscosity. Okay. So here from the drawing we can see that there is a object which is hanging. The mass is 0.01 kg, and over here is a block. The block, below the block there is a thin film. Over here, let's say this is the thin film, and everything is in. The acceleration is 0. This is going down with a constant velocity v. This is also going down with a constant velocity v. Okay. We need to calculate the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, right? So here mg will be acting, and here tension T will be acting. Because v is constant, I can say acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0, T equal to mg. Over here again tension T is there, and here will be our viscous force Fv. Okay. So T equal to mg and T should be equal to Fv. Hence, we know that the formula for the viscous force is equal to eta A, velocity gradient, delta V by delta Y. Let us substitute the values over here. This Fv is same as tension, which is same as mg. So here I am to put as mg. Mass is 0.01. Let's take the value of g as 10. Coefficient of viscosity I want to calculate. The bottom area is 0.1 meter square, that is 0.1 meter square. Not to worry, as of now everything is in SI unit. The velocity here I have to put as 0.085 whole divided by, how much is the thickness? The thickness is given as 0.3 mm. So here I have to put as 0.3 mm. Carefully, I need to change the units. Now I just need to cross multiply and do some calculation. Calculation will be a little bit tedious, but as you will see the option, the first term is common in all the options. So only take care for the 10 powers. Okay. And you will find that option 1 will come out to be as your right answer. Okay. Let's go ahead for our new for our next question. So there are two rods of copper and brass. This is rod number 1 and this is another rod. One of them is copper, another one of them is the brass. Okay, this is brass. Having the same length is same. This length is also L. This length is also L. Okay, and cross-sectional area is also same. The free end of the copper, means this one is at 0 degrees Celsius, and for the brass rod the free end is at 100 degrees Celsius, and everything is in the steady state. So whenever the things are in steady state, we can say that the heat current which is going through the copper is same as the heat current which is going through the brass. So Q1 dot should be equal to Q2 dot. If thermal conductivities of copper, K of the copper is 4 times the K of the brass, that is given to us. Okay. Find the temperature at the junction of the two rods. This theta I want to calculate. We know that for the formula of the heat current is thermal conductivity. So let's write down for the copper, this will be 4K, multiply by area, multiply by the temperature difference, that will be equal to theta minus 0 divided by the length L. And for the brass, this side, let's say the thermal conductivity is K, area is same as copper. Here the temperature difference, I have to use bigger value minus the smaller value, so that this term is also positive, this term is also positive, length L is same. Do the calculation and get the value for the theta. Your answer will come out to be as 20 degrees Celsius. Fourth option is correct. I hope this is okay, clear. Let's go ahead. So in an adiabatic process, pressure is increased by 2 by 3%. If Cp by Cv, which is nothing but gamma, is equal to 3 by 2, then the volume decrease will be by how much amount? Okay. Because the process is adiabatic, we can use the equation for the adiabatic process, which can also be written as P is inversely proportional to V power gamma. Hence, delta P by P can be written as gamma times delta V by V. And if you want to calculate delta V by V, just cross multiply and get 1 by gamma as delta P upon P. Okay, and this inverse relation says that if the pressure is increasing, the volume has to decrease. We just have to figure out regarding the magnitude values. So 1 by gamma is how much? 2 by 3, and delta P by P was 2 by 3%. So that will be equal to 4 by 9%. First option will be our correct answer. Okay, let's go ahead to our next question. Okay, so there is a graph given to us, and 1, 2, 3, 4 guesses are there, right? The graph is between PV equal PV by nRT versus the pressure. So this graph is actually talking about how ideal gas will behave and how real gas will behave. Okay, so the first graph, which is the straight line, this is for your ideal gas. Okay, we know that for ideal gas PV should be equal to nRT. So PV by nRT, this ratio should be a constant value. That's the indication we are talking about the ideal gas. And remaining these three, these are real gases. Okay, now the behavior of real gases will approach to ideal, okay, for high temperature and low pressure values. Now let us see both of these two statements. Okay, so the first statement says that curve 1 represents ideal gas behavior. That is correct. Curve B 2, 3, 4 also represent ideal gas behavior. No, let's say, okay, 3 more statements are there. So curve 2, 3, 4 represents behavior of real gases at different temperature. That is correct. And about D and E, T2, if it is higher, let's go back. If T2 is higher, it is more close to the ideal gas. So yes, that statement is also correct. Okay, so A, C and D, that is option 2 will be your right answer. Okay, let's move ahead to our next question. All right, so there is a particle which is doing circular motion, and we need to write down the equation of SHM. It is given that at t equal to 0, this angle is 45 degree, right? Okay, so we'll use the projection method. This is the circle and this is t equal to 0 line. After some time t, what is going to happen? The particle will reach over here. Okay, it will move in time t over here. So this angle is already 45 degree, and in some time t, it will reach over here. So how much angular displacement it will cover? We know that angular displacement is equal to omega t, and omega can be written as 2 pi by capital T. Let's see what is the value of time period. That is 4 seconds. So here we will put 4 and this is t. So this theta is this much, right? Now the simple harmonic motion projection on the x-axis. So on the x-axis, if I'll take the projection, I will get this as the value of x. This value of x is equal to a. This hypotenuse or the radius is a. So it will be a cos theta plus 45 degree. Okay. Let's substitute the value of theta over here and get the answer. All right. So option number 4 will be your correct answer, guys. Right? Let's go ahead. This was the question asked in set 2. A particle executing SHM has maximum angular speed of 30 centimeter per second. Vmax formula is a into omega. This value is equal to 30 centimeter per second. Maximum acceleration formula is a omega square. The value given to us is 60 centimeter per second square, right? We need to calculate time period. It means first we need to find out what is omega. Let's divide both of them equation. After dividing, capital A will get cancelled out. Only omega will remain over here. This will be 2 centimeter will get cancelled out. This will come out to be as 2 radian per second. So time period will be equal to 2 pi by omega. So pi should be your correct answer. Okay. Next question, guys. A tuning fork of frequency 480 Hertz is used in an experiment for measuring the speed of sound by the resonance. So this is a resonance tube, a model of the question where we need to figure out the speed of the sound, and the length L1 and L2 they are given to us, right? Okay. So we know that for the first length we will get the fundamental resonance when L1 is lambda by 4. For the second one, that will be 3 lambda by 4. Because the resonance tube is acting like a closed longer pipe, the even frequencies will be missing. So after 1, I am directly getting 3 over here. If I'll take the difference of L2 and L1, so here I'm going to get as lambda by 2. Now lambda can be written as V by F. So V will have a formula of 2F L2 minus L1. Okay. Let's see what are the values that we can put over here. The frequency of the tuning fork is 480. For the F, I have put 480 over here. L2 minus L1 will give you 40 centimeter or 0.4 meter, right? So after doing the calculation, you will get option 2 as your correct answer, right? Let's go ahead. The electric field near a conducting surface having a uniform surface charge density sigma is how much? It's a standard result. No matter whatever the shape of the conductor is, okay, if the local density is sigma, then the electric field will be perpendicular to the surface and magnitude will be sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, so that will be your option 3, right? Let's go ahead. A spherical conducting shell have inner radius R1 and outer radius R2. Okay, if this is Q, here minus Q will appear and here plus Q will appear, right? So for the outer surface, sigma for the outer surface will be equal to charge divided by surface area. Charge is this much, surface area will be 4 pi, outside is R2 radius, so 4 pi R2 square. Similarly, this will give you the sigma inner. So for the sigma inner, we will get negative value Q divided by 4 pi R1 square, right? Okay, so let's see which option is matching. The question is asking first inner. So I am looking for minus Q, 4 pi R1 square and then outer, right? So this first option will be your right answer. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so there are 4 charges, plus Q, plus Q and minus Q. And in between, there's a charge Q naught. So initially the charge Q naught was at infinity and now I am bringing it over here. I want to calculate how much is the work done. So the work done is given as U final minus U initial formula, right? Initially, because the particle is at infinity, U initial, we by default take it as 0 because the distance is infinite, potential is 0 or potential energy is 0. Now finally, we are bringing the particle over here. So let us try to calculate what will be the potential at this point. So potential at this point can be calculated as the potential because of A, the contribution will be, let's say this distance is x. So it will be kq by x plus kq by x. For this one will be minus kq by x. For this one will be again plus kq by x. So I'm just multiplying this by 2. For negative, again minus of kq, another term will come. Let's multiply it by 2. After addition, this term will come out to be 0. So the final potential energy is also going to be equal to 0. Therefore, the work done is 0. Third option will be your correct answer. Okay, let's go ahead to our next question. All right. So we have a parallel plate air capacitor. It is charged to a potential difference of V volt. Now, we have disconnected the battery. As soon as we will disconnect the battery, what's going to happen is that the charge on the plate will get trapped and we can say that now the Q value is constant. Okay. Now what are the changes that we are going to do with the capacitor? Distance between the plates is increased, right? Okay. We know that capacitance is epsilon naught A by D. The D is the distance. Distance is increased. So what will happen to C? The C will decrease. We also know that Q is equal to CV, and Q being constant, V will be inversely proportional to C. And if C is decreasing, then the potential will increase, right? So the potential will increase. Your first one is the correct answer. Okay. Let's go ahead. So this is statement 1, 2 type. Let's see. The first one says electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the spherical conductor and has the same value as inside at its surface. Yes, that's correct. the formula, the graph will somewhat look like this. This is V, this is R. The value is constant at all the statements are correct. Third one is your right answer. Next question, assertion reason. Assertion says that alloys such as constantan and manganin, they are used in making standard resistance of coil. That is very true. The reason is that R, which is given as R0, 1 plus alpha delta theta. So for these materials, the value of alpha, okay, it does not change with the temperature, almost remains same. Okay, so during the experiment, we know because of energy losses, temperature is bound to increase. If temperature is bound to increase, then if alpha is sensitive, then R will also change. That we do not want. Hence, the value of alpha, we have to choose in such a way that it is kind of independent of temperature or very least effective, and which is the same thing over here. This is also a true statement and it's the correct explanation, guys. The first one will be your correct answer. Okay. All right. So this is the question from meter bridge. The balance point is found to be at 39.5. So this value L1 is given to as 39.5 centimeter. So obviously, because the total length is 100 centimeter, this length will come out to be as 60.5 centimeter. Now let us read the statement. If R and S are interchanged, then L1, L2 values will also interchange, right? So we know that R by L1 is going to be equal to S by L2, Wheatstone bridge balancing equation. So this is our true statement. Statement number 2, if the galvanometer and the cells are interchanged, so that is again a theoretical point. Whenever we change the position of G and the battery, still this equation will hold true, and the values of still the meter bridge, we can say it will be in the balanced condition, and even after interchanging the position, the galvanometer will not show any deflection. Both statements are correct statements. First one is your right answer. Okay. All right. So next one, there are two equal resistances when connected in series to an ideal battery. So two are connected like this. This is R, this is R. Let's say battery potential is V0. Okay. Together they are consuming 60 watt of power. Okay. So what is the net resistance? Net resistance is equal to 2R because they are connected in series. So we know that power is equal to voltage square divided by the net resistance. Equation number 1. Now these resistance are connected in parallel. They are now connected in parallel. Okay. So if they are connected in parallel, the resistance will become half. It will become R by 2. Okay. And this is the value for V0. So what will be the new value of the power? The new value of the power will be V0 square divided by R by 2. Okay. So let us take this 2 and write down over here. We will get 2 V0 square by P. What is V0 square by P? Take this 2 on this side. 120 is V0 square, V0 square by R. And here this is not P, this is equal to R. So V0 square by R is 120. If we'll place here, we will get this as 240, guys. Option 2 is your correct answer. Okay. Let's go ahead to our next question. Effective resistance between point A and B I want to calculate. Very simple. These two are in series, so 3 plus 3 will give you 6. This 6 and 6, they are in parallel. So effectively, you will get the value of 3 here. Again, this 3 and 3 will be in series. This will give you the value of 6. And this 6 and 3 will be in parallel. So you can calculate the total resistance as 3 and 6 in parallel. From here, you'll get 2 ohm. Second option is your correct answer. Easy. Okay. All right. So there's a long solenoid and it has 200 turns per centimeter. And now there's another solenoid for which the value of small n I'm going to use as 100. So this is mu naught. This is 100. This is also per centimeter. Not to worry. Eventually I'm going to divide the equation. Centimeter will get cancelled out. Current is I by 3. Current is I by 3. We need to calculate the magnetic field. Let's say this magnetic field is X. Okay. So case number 1. This is the equation. Case number 2, this is the equation. What we want to calculate. Okay. Let's go ahead to our next question, guys. Okay. So here two bar magnets or two magnetic dipoles are arranged, and at the center point, at the origin point, if their contribution is totally coming out to be 0, in that case, I want to calculate the ratio of M1 and M2. Okay, M1 and M2 are their magnetic dipole moment, right? Let us try to think. For this, point O is on its axis, right? Let's say creating a magnetic field in this direction, omega L, and the values of omega are on the higher side. If omega is higher, XL will be higher. So here XL is more than XC, right? And at particular resonance, XL and XC, they both are equal. So on the left side, capacitive part is dominating. On the left side, inductive dominating? No. At omega R, impedance is equal to the resistance? Yeah, right. We know Z is equal to square root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So at resonance, XL and XC are same. Substitute the value, you will get Z equal to R. C is the true statement. At omega, impedance of the circuit is 0. No, it depends on the value of R also. So A and C will be your correct answer. Option 3 is the correct one. Okay, let's move ahead. So match the column directly, formula and what that formula is called as. This is the Gauss law. Let me write down over here. A matches with. This is our Gaussian law of electricity. A will match to H. This is Gauss law of magnetism, which effectively says that monopole do not exist. So B will matches with G. This one is our Faraday's law. So this will match with F. And this one is Ampere plus Maxwell. This is the displacement current equation, guys. Ampere's Maxwell part. So HGFE should be the correct answer. Let's look for HGFE. Option 2 is the correct answer. Next one. There is a bulb and a capacitor which are connected in series. So a bulb means there is a resistor basically, and there is a capacitor which are connected in series, and the source is AC source. This is an AC source. On increasing frequency, how will glow of the bulb changes, right? Okay. I already told you guys that Z can be written as R square plus XL is not there. So only XC ka square. XC is 1 by omega C, right? So mathematically speaking, if I'm going to increase the frequency, I'm trying to increase the value of omega. If omega increases, overall value decreases, hence Z decreases. And we also know that current is given by V by Z. If Z decreases, then the value of current will increase. And if the current is more, the bulb will glow more, because in that scenario, power and the current, they are in the direct proportions, right? Hence, the bulb glow will also increase. Okay, let's go ahead. All right, so there is a light ray which falls perpendicularly on one face of an equilateral prism. Let me draw one prism, equilateral, all angles are 60 degrees. The light which is coming, it is falling perpendicularly, so this angle is 90 degrees. Okay, and the refractive index is √2. So when the light strikes over here, what is the possibility? The possibility is that either the refraction happens or the TIR will happen. Okay, keep it in mind. What we have to do, we have to calculate using √2 what is the critical angle of this material. Okay, so the critical angle will be equal to sine theta c is 1 by mu. Put mu as √2. Theta c will be equal to 45 degrees. Okay. How much is this angle? This angle is 60, this will be 30, this will be 60. If this is 60, it means it is more than the critical angle, hence TIR is going to happen. So for this light, the TIR is going to happen, light will go like this. It means angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So this is also 60, and we know that this angle is 60. The light was supposed to go straight like this, okay? And if this is 60, this angle has to be 30. So obviously this means this is 90. So the future of the light is to just go outside the prism. But we want to calculate the angle of deviation. So we want to calculate how much is this angle. This is the angle of deviation. Okay. So to calculate this angle, we already know this is 30, but we also want to know how much is this angle. So let us try to look at the vertically opposite angle, that is equal to 30 degree. So this delta will be 30 plus 30, 60 degree. Option 2 will be your right answer. Okay, isn't it a good question, guys? Let's go ahead. Okay, so there is a compound microscope. So for the compound microscope, let me draw the two lenses over here. Okay, principal axis, right? Focal length of the objective lens is 1.2 centimeter. Focal length of objective is 1.2 centimeter. Okay, and the focal length of the eyepiece is 3 centimeter. Okay, when object is kept at 1.25 centimeter in front of the objective lens, so let's say object is over here, this distance is 1.25 centimeter. Okay, and the final image is formed at the infinity. It means that the first image of this object should form over here in such a way that this should be the focal length FE. So for this, the image will be formed over here. Let me try, see if this is the object, this is the first image I1, and now this will form another image of this I1 and it will be formed at infinity somewhere over here. Okay, so this value is FE equal to 3 centimeter. We want to calculate the total magnifying power. So first of all, we need to calculate magnification of this one, which is M1 multiplied by M2 will give us the total magnification. To calculate the magnification M1, let us first try to calculate how much is the V. So 1 by F we will put as plus 1.2. 1 by V want to calculate minus of U, which is minus 1.25. So from here we will come out to be as 30. Hence the magnification M1 will be equal to minus of V is 30 and U is 1.25. So this is basically 5 by 4. So M1 will come out to be as minus 20. Why minus? Because the image is inverted. For M2 we directly have the formula, that is equal to D by FE. D is 25 centimeter, FE equal to 3. To calculate the total magnification, we want to multiply the M1 value and the M2 value. Okay, so that will come out to be as 3 times 8, so that will be equal to 200. So option 1 will be your correct answer. Okay, because all the options they are positive, no confusion, we only have to find out the magnitude. Let's go ahead. Alright, so this was asked in set 2. There is a watch which shows a time of 3:25. So this is number 3 and number 6. This is the watch like this, right? So 3:25 means that the hour candle will be somewhere here, slightly below the number 3 and exactly pointing out towards this mark. So this is the timing 3:25. Let us say a mirror is placed over here and watch is over here. So this is the marking, this is the marking, this is the marking, this is the marking. For the hour needle, the image will be somewhere like this, and this one, it will be something like this. So how much is this time? This time is, it's about to become 9 p.m. okay, or 9 o'clock. So before 9, this is how much? 8:35. First option will be your correct answer. I hope this is clear, guys. Let's go ahead. 3 statements are given. We need to figure out that which one of them are correct statements. The finite resolution of our eye or the optical instrument such as telescope and microscope, what is the limitation? So their limitation is why it is because of the diffraction. Okay, this is our 2 statement, guys. The Polaroids are also used in photographic cameras and 3D movie cameras. Okay, that is also a true statement. A very good use of the Polaroids. And the 3rd statement says that in the YDSE experiment, the fringe pattern on the screen is actually a superposition of single slit from each slit, right? So that is also true, guys. This is slit S1, this is slit S2. S1 alone is a diffraction of single slit. S2 alone is diffraction of single slit. But when these 2 slits are combined together, over here, we get the interference from both the slits, hence also called as double slit experiment. This is also true statement. All statements are true. Let's move on to our next question. Okay. So in a YDSC with identical slits, the intensity of the central bright fringe is I naught. If one of the slit is covered, the intensity at that point will be. Okay. So what is our general scenario that we usually learn in our classrooms? We know that if slit S1 has intensity I and slit S2 has also intensity I, then the intensity at the central bright is 4I, correct? This is what we usually learn, right? Now, in this particular question, it is saying that the intensity of central bright is I naught. If the intensity of this central bright is I naught, it means that these values has to be how much? I naught by 4 and I naught by 4, correct? Same logic. If one of the slit is covered, if I covered one slit, only slit 1 is there, so the slit 1 ka complete contribution will come as only I naught by 4. So fourth option will be our correct answer. Okay, let's go ahead to our next question. When photons of wavelength lambda are incident on isolated sphere and the corresponding stopping potential is found to be V. So let us think about the formula. E into V can be written as hc by lambda minus work function. This is our formula, right? Now, in our case number 1, when lambda is lambda, stopping potential is V. So this equation is perfectly fine. Let's go on to our next part. When photons of wavelength are lambda by 2. So when this wavelength lambda is basically lambda by 2, we'll put lambda by 2 like this. Work function is same, but as a result, the stopping potential was 3 times the above value. So now the stopping potential is 3V. Okay. If the light of wavelength lambda by 3 is used, so let's put this as lambda by 3, so that 3 will come here. Work function I am not changing as of now. In this scenario, how much will be the stopping potential? How much will be E times V naught? So this V naught I want to calculate. Okay. How to do the calculation? Using first two equation, first I will calculate the value of work function. Take this EV and substitute in the second equation. EV will eliminate. You can very easily calculate the phi. Put that work function over here and solve for V naught. It's a very simple question now. You can get the answer. So third one will be your correct answer, right? Let's go ahead. So very interesting question, guys. Let's see. The potential energy of a moving particle having a mass m, and this is the function of the potential energy, right? So what is the first case? The first case is the value of x when it is between 0 and 1. In this first case, how much is the potential energy? That is E naught. And how much is the total energy given to us? Total energy is 2 E naught. Total energy is 2 E naught. And we know that total is nothing but potential plus kinetic. Therefore, how much will be the kinetic energy? Here the kinetic energy will be equal to E naught, right? So if kinetic energy is E naught, then de Broglie wavelength lambda 1 can be written as h upon root 2 mk. Root 2 mk, k I can directly write as E naught. So this is my lambda 1. Now let's apply the same logic for case number 2. Case number 2 means I am looking for the value of x which is more than 1. The potential energy as per the expression is 0. The total energy is 2 E naught. How much will be the kinetic energy? The kinetic energy will be same as 2 E naught. Let's try to calculate lambda 2. That will be h divided by root 2 mk. The value of k here I will just put as 2 E naught, right? So lambda and kinetic, they are inversely proportional. From there also lambda by lambda 2 can be given as basically root 2 is to 1. So third option will be our correct answer. Okay. So this was the set B, second set question. The ratio of velocities of proton and alpha particle is 4:1. The ratio of the de Broglie wavelength will be how much, right? So we know that for the proton, we will write down h by mv. Mass for the proton will take as 1 unit, and the velocity we will take as, let's say, v of proton only, and the lambda for the alpha particle mass is written as 4 units, and this is the velocity of alpha particle. We want to calculate the ratio of lambda, so lambda of proton divided by lambda of alpha particle will be equal to 4 times V of alpha divided by V of proton. Okay, so 4 by 4 will be equal to 1. 1:1 will be my correct answer. Okay, the velocities, they are given as first proton after alpha, and that ratio is 4:1. So here I have to put as 1:4. That's why. Okay, let's go ahead to our next question. If the series limit of Lyman series for hydrogen atom is equal to the series limit of Balmer series for hydrogen like atom. Okay, so first of all, equal to ka sign. On this side we have hydrogen ka 1 by lambda wala configuration. Okay, so here we are writing z square, that is 1 square for hydrogen. Lyman means and series limit means this thing. Okay, jumping from infinity to 1 will give us the series limit, right? For hydrogen like atom, let's say the atomic number is z, so z square multiply by. For this we have Balmer series ka limit series, so this will be 2 square minus 1 by infinity square. Okay, so z will come out to be equal to 2. Simple calculation, guys. Okay, let's go ahead. Again a theory question from the chapter nuclei. So a free neutron decays to a proton. Yeah, so the neutron decays to a proton and it will emit one electron and one antineutrino. Okay, so a free neutron actually decays. The actual reason is that the rest mass of neutron is slightly more than the rest mass of proton. Because of that, the neutrons, they are not stable outside the nuclei. Okay, let's go statement by statement. Neutron is a composite particle made of a proton and an electron, whereas proton is fundamental. No, neutron is also made up of quarks and other stuff. Proton is also not fundamental, it is made up of quarks. This is a false statement. Second one, neutron is uncharged particle whereas proton is charged. Statement is true, but it is not the explanation for this decay. Okay, this we can reject. Free neutron has larger rest mass than the free proton. Yes, this was the reason I was explaining you guys. And the weak forces can operate in a neutron but not in a proton. That's also a false statement. Weak forces are applicable both in neutron and proton. Okay, so third one will be your correct answer. Let's go ahead. All right, so electron positron pair. Electron positron pair. So when they are coming together, they will annihilate each other and they will produce photons. Okay, 2 photons are produced like this, right? How much is the total energy released? So the energy from the first one will be mc square. Energy from the second one will also be equal to mc square. They both have the same mass. We can directly add them. That will be equal to 2mc square. Here we should know the values of the mass of electron. That is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. C I will put as 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second ka whole square. Do some calculation, get the answer. Third one will be the correct one. Let's go ahead to our next question. So this is from the semiconductor. Circuit diagram is given to us. All right. So whenever such type of switch is given, this corresponds to value 0 because it is not connected and current cannot flow. That's why this corresponds to value 0. And whenever the switch gets connected, this is considered as position 1. Okay. Now in this scenario, if I'll try to make a truth table, this is A, this is B, and the output is whether the bulb will glow or not. Okay, that is my output. If both are in the first condition, if both are 0, they both are open, current cannot flow, bulb cannot glow, bulb glow is 0, bulb is not glowing. Let us say A I am keeping open but B I am closing. So current can go through this branch, so current will flow, bulb will glow. If I do the reverse, if I close this and keep this as open, if this is closed, again current can flow. That will give you the glow in the bulb. And if both are connected, obviously current can still go and that again value will be 1. So this truth table is the truth table for the OR gate. Third one is your correct answer, guys. Okay, let's move on. So this is a PN junction getting connected with forward and reverse biased, right? Okay, so in the PN junction, what happens is that because of the concentration differences between N and P, so when the electrons goes from here to here, this corresponds to diffusion. So diffusion will become dominate if it is connected in the forward biased, okay? And what is drift? When a new pair of electron on hole are generated, then they are, because of the electric field present in the depletion layer, these pairs, they will move into their respective site. That is called drift, and the value of the drift is very small. So that is the indication that it is happening in the reverse bias. So diffusion will be dominating in the forward and drift will be dominating in the reverse. So second option will be your correct answer, guys. Okay. So this is the graph of the solar cell. Okay. Very simple and straightforward question. So this is representing solar cell. So first option is obviously correct. And we know that this point of voltage corresponds to the open circuit, and this value of the current corresponds to the short circuit value. Okay. Let's see what statement 2 says. Point P, open circuit voltage, that is true. Point Q, short circuit current, that is also true, right? Even though such type of questions are deleted from NCERT, but guys, it is present in the old book. Also, it is in the NT syllabus. So there is a chance that from solar cell, LED, photodiode or Zener diode, so such questions can be asked regarding their graphs. Okay, so please study them and do not skip. Thank you so much, guys, and best of luck for your all the upcoming exams. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Hello, my dear students. Welcome to one more amazing session from Infinity Lane. This is Suresh, Faculty of Chemistry. Today we are going to discuss about NEET GT 2604 2025. Welcome to NEET Grand Test Series, and we'll be discussing the questions in a rapid fire mode. You just take a pen and paper and note all these things. So first question, if an electron has a spin quantum number, it is +1/2, and this magnetic quantum number is -1. And then it cannot be represented as. So it has a lot of logics here. So yeah, according to the magnetic quantum number is given as a -1. So that magnetic quantum number value always depends on spin quantum number. It could be -L to +L including 0. If it is -1 and it is L supposed to be 1 or anything greater than that. When it comes to the s orbital, its L value is going to be 0, m value should be only 0, other than it is not possible. Therefore, the orbital cannot be s orbital. The answer for this question is going to be 1. And let's see one more question. Given below are two statements. Let us identify dipole moment of HF is greater than H2O. When you talk about this H2O, its dipole moment is 1.85. HF is 1.82. Therefore, assertion is wrong. And HF bond is more polar than OH bond because fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen. So this reason is correct. I want to say A is false and R is true. And also we can say a gaseous mixture contains CH4 and C2H4 and equimolar proportion. I mean to say number of moles of CH4 is equal to number of moles of C2H6 it is given, and the weight of 2.24 liters of this mixture. So total number of moles is equal to 2.24 upon 22.4. It is going to be 0.1. So number of moles of this and number of moles of this equal moles. So you have to consider here number of moles of this is given as, in that it is taken as a half and is multiplied with number of moles of weight of CH4 and is equal to number of moles of CH4 and into its molecular weight is 16, weight of C2H6, and it is going to be number of moles of C2H6 into its molecular weight is 30. And the weight of 2.24 liters has to be calculated from this relation. You are going to get 2.3 is the correct answer for this. And also we can take here, which of the following reaction the underlying substance has been reduced? Decrease in oxidation state is called as reduction. So let us say the underlined element here, carbon monoxide, it is going to be +2 and it is going to be +4, it is oxidation process. And copper oxide, it is going to be +2 and it is going to be +2. This is not a redox change. H2O and underlined element here, it is going to be +1 is converted into 0, decrease in the oxidation state. So it is called a reduction, decrease in the oxidation state. Carbon 0 and it is going to be +4, it is going to be oxidation. The answer for this question is going to be hydrogen is getting reduced over here. And let us talk about the product P in the following reaction. Ethyl bromide. So this is CH3, CH2, Br. Ethyl bromide is treated with aqueous potassium hydroxide, undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, CH3, CH2, OH, you go primary alcohol, ethanol. When it is treated with pyridium chlorochromate, it is a mild oxidizing agent. You are going to get CH3, CHO, and this is going to be reduced by lithium aluminum hydride. You are going to see CH3, CH2, OH. Again, you got the final product as ethanol. That is going to be option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Dear children, one more, the ratio of rate constant K2 upon K1 of a chemical reaction at two different temperature T1 and T2 are given. T2 is greater than T1. So, and ratio of rate constant is given as a 10 if the activation energy is 4.606 calories. Then what is the relation here? Log K2 by K1 is equal to delta H 2.303 R and log T2 minus T1 upon T1 dot T2. So this is given as K2 upon K1, that is given as a log 10 is equal to delta H of the reaction. Activation energy for EA, you can say here it is an activation energy is required for the Arrhenius equation. From Van 't Hoff equation we can write it. So it is given as 4.606 and 2.303. R value is going to be 2 in calories and is given as T2, T1 and T1 and T2. So once you solve it is going to be equated with 1, and as a result of that you are going to see T1 T2 is equal to T2 minus T1 is the correct answer for this. So 4.606 and it can be cancelled here, multiplied with 2. So T2 minus T1 upon T1 dot T2 is equated with 1. T2 minus T1 is equal to T1 dot T2. Okay, so that is your answer. Clear? And you can say crystal field splitting energy of octahedral complex is 18000. Then the crystal field splitting energy of tetrahedral complex. Crystal field splitting energy of tetrahedral complex is 4 by 9 times of the crystal field splitting of octahedral complex. So 4 by 9 into it is given as 18000. That is your answer. It comes to be 8000 will come. Okay, and select the correct combination. Select the correct combination. Here chromate ion is yellow in color, dichromate is an orange in color, is very important. Cr2O72 minus is converted into CrO42 minus, and you see it is orange in color and it is yellow in color. So when you add OH minus, when you add H plus. So in acidic medium orange, in a basic medium it is going to be yellow in color. Both are correct. Manganate ion is green in color, correct. MnO2 is black in color. Everybody is correct here. Option B 4 is going to be the correct answer for this question, bacho. And also you can see here cane sugar is going to be converted into glucose and fructose. This is called inversion. What is the final product of reduction of the above glucose in the presence of red phosphorus and HI? So glucose, NCRT it is given glucose, red phosphorus and HI. All carbon atoms in the glucose are going to be reduced and it is going to give you N-hexane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. N-hexane. So my answer is going to be N-hexane. This is the reaction given in the NCRT textbook, my dear children. And also you can see this is answer 4. And which of the following transition metal present in the misch metal? Misch metal is a pyrophoric metal, and it is used in flint lighters as well, and which contains lanthanide elements, little bit of 5%, less than 5% iron and carbon, and that is contain iron. Lanthanide elements contain iron, okay, and it is going to be 2. And the most stable canonical structure among the following is always you see carbon with a positive charge, okay. So it is going to be 6 electrons, and carbon with a positive charge, and it is going to be 6 electrons, and carbon with chargeless, and it is positive charge on oxygen is 8 electron. Always the structure with octet is always stable, so this is more stable. Answer is going to be 3. Answer is going to be 3. Now the order of stability, 3 is greater than 2 is greater than 1. Why 2 is greater? Here is going to be positive mesomeric effect, okay. And talking about, here it is wrong statement. Cellulose acetate is used as a semi-permeable membrane in reverse osmosis. Correct statement. 90% of nitrogen respiratory kit in scuba diving. In the scuba diving kit, nitrogen is not at all used, rather helium is used. Okay, so this is wrong statement. 0.9% weight by volume sodium chloride is normal saline, and it is isoosmotic with RBC is correct statement. Amalgam's true solution of liquid dissolved in a solid. So a metal dissolved in liquid mercury is called as amalgam, and it is also correct statement. Option 2 is a wrong statement in this. So this is the model of the question you can expect in the NEET examination, my dear children. Let's talk about Cn minus H2O, HCN and OH minus. Okay, so the K value is so less, because this ionization is very difficult because it is a weak. Okay, then the equilibrium constant for the neutralization of HCN with a strong base. So I mean to say it is strong base, na? Reverse is going to be reverse of this. So K dash is going to be 1 by K is equal to 1 by 10 power minus 9 is equal to 10 power minus 9 plus 9. 10 power plus 9. Okay, so my answer is going to be 10 power plus 9, answer 3. So taking, this is not at all an actual ionic equilibrium, it is a chemical equilibrium question. Okay. Now, good method of preparing, converting the benzene into propyl benzene. Benzene into propyl benzene. Okay, you are going to see AlCl3 here, and this is not the Friedel-Crafts acylation. This is a Friedel-Crafts acylation. While in this case, anhydrous AlCl3, you can use it, there is no rearrangement of the carbocation, so that you are going to get a propyl benzene directly. Okay. And here anhydrous AlCl3 cannot touch the cyclopropane, you need an acid for that. Okay. And Kekule concept is oscillating nature of double bond in benzene is represented as, yes, representation is correct, but oscillation of double bond, this is not oscillating. Okay, different possible structures are shown, so this is not correct statement. Benzene is a molecule contain 12 planar atoms. You can say benzene has 6 atoms on the same plane, and hydrogen is also in the same plane, total 12 planar. So this is correct. Statement 1 is correct, incorrect, and statement 2 is correct. Okay. So the benzene structure, so there is an oscillating nature of double bonds is not using, that is a delocalization of the pi bond system, that is explained. That is next. Br2 is treated with cyclohexane, and you are going to be free radical substitution reaction. So in this free radical substitution reaction, the product you are going to get is allylic bromination. Allylic bromination. So my answer for this question is going to be 2. right? So free radical substitution, one hydrogen is replaced with one halogen atom. Ease of replacement, benzylic hydrogen is more than, allylic hydrogen is more than, tertiary hydrogen is more than, secondary than primary. So you have to follow that. Here this is the allylic hydrogen is brominated here. So the IUPAC name of this is given here. Look at this is an acid amide and this is an aldehyde. Therefore should be given first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth carbon containing aldehyde. So sixth position aldehyde group is included in the parent chain. Therefore we have to say this is a 6-formyl. Okay, 2-methyl. So 2-methyl, 6-formyl, no, the 6-oxo. If this carbon is included in the parent chain, say oxo. If it is not included, you say formyl. So 6-oxo-hex-3-namide. So the answer for this question is going to be 3. And talking about PCC is a mild oxidizing agent. So while mild oxidizing agent, primary alcohol is going to be converted into aldehyde and secondary alcohol is converted into ketone. So option for this is going to be 3. And this is the one, HCl in the peroxide. HCl peroxide effect do not work. Okay, if peroxide is used, alkene with HBr in the presence of peroxide, free radical addition. So you are going to get a free radical. Well, peroxide effects doesn't work with, it works only with HBr. It only with HBr. Works only with HBr. So that if you use HCl, it follows electrophilic addition reaction. Whenever it follows electrophilic addition reaction, you are going to see the formation of a stable intermediate. That is the third one. Carbocation is the intermediate in this case. Now let's talk about the one more. Yes, answer is going to be 3. At room temperature, allotropy is not exhibited by. In the group 15, nitrogen is the only element. Do not show allotropy. That is very, very important. Okay, and that is given in the NCERT option 4. And CH3COOH is treated with B2H6. Whenever you see B2H6, now you say hydroboration oxidation, but B2H6 is a very good reducing agent. Carboxylic group is going to be converted into CH2OH primary alcohol. That is very, very important catch point. And this is going to be compound A, and this is dehydrogenated, so that you are going to get CH3 and the CHO dehydrogenation takes place. This is going to be B, and aldehyde is going to react with methyl alcohol in the presence of dry HCl. You are going to get CH3COH and it is going to be acetal is formed. 2 moles is given. If 1 mole hemiacetal and 2 moles, it is going to be acetal. Acetal is formed. So for this question, option 3 is the correct answer. Okay, and all the reactions are given in the NCERT textbook. Focus on this NCERT textbook, you learn it, and you are going to get incorrect statement about XeF4. So it has a square planar structure. Xenon has 2 lone pairs. Xenon undergo sp3d2. It is a polar molecule. It is a non-polar molecule. XeF4. Xe, its structure appears like this. Okay, so it is going to be fluorine, and fluorine, it is a non-polar, resultant dipole moment is 0. This is incorrect. Always NEET examination, correct statement and incorrect statement you have to pick and take the decision. And here correct order of basic strength. So when it comes to the correct order of basic strength, ethyl amines are more basic than methyl amines. So D and C are more basic than A and B. Now it is talking about when it comes to the ethyl group, you can see secondary amine is more than tertiary amine due to steric factors and hydration factors. Both are primary amines. You are going to see bulk number and simple number. So DCAB, this is very important. You can check the steric factors and plus inductive effect. And what is going to be this NaOCl means? It is talking about haloform reaction. Haloform reaction. So in this haloform reaction, this part is going to be carboxylic group CH3 and CH double bond CH and CH2, and this part C double bond O minus plus CHCl3 is going to be formed. So this forms a salt with Na. The answer for this is going to be a double bond is not changed. So option 1 is the correct answer for this question. And talking about for the reaction equilibrium mixture containing 3 moles of PCl5, PCl3, Cl2. If the total pressure is PT, P total is equal to 3 atm. Okay. So what is the value of Kp? Kp value is going to be partial pressure of PCl3 dot partial pressure of Cl2 upon partial pressure of PCl5. So according to Dalton's law, partial pressure of PCl5 is equal to total pressure into mole fraction of PCl5. Mean to say 3 into 3 upon 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 9. Okay. Similarly, partial pressure of PCl3 is also 3 into 3 by 9. And partial pressure of Cl2 is equal to 3 into 3 by 9. So let us make it here. Kp value is equal to 3 into 3 by 9 and 3 into 3 by 9 upon 3 into 3 by 9. So on solving, so 3 into 3, and you can say it is going to be 1. Answer is going to be 1 for this question. Answer is going to be 1 for this question. It is simple logic about the chemical equilibrium. Students, here dative bond is absent in carbon suboxide, C double bond, C double bond, C double bond, O and O, C3O2. It do not have any dative bond. It has only sigma bonds and pi bonds, my dear children. So answer is going to be 3. In everywhere dative bond is there. And when you use concentrated H2SO4, this is going to be elimination product. In the elimination product, you are going to use Saidjev rule. So the product is going to be like this. When you use Saidjev product here, so Saidjev. But when you use a bulky base, you have to use the major product as like this. It is a Hoffman product. It is going to be Hoffman product. So my answer for this question is going to be 1. Clear? And you are going to say complex is inner orbital complex with a diamagnetic nature. Of course, it is going to be a strong field ligand inner orbital complex. Whenever inner orbital complex with a cobalt do not have any unpaired electron, it is a diamagnetic, correct. And it is a strong field ligand, CO3 plus is octahedral complex. This is also correct. So, and correct explanation of A. And talking about which of the following system has a maximum number of unpaired electrons for the inner orbital octahedral complex. Inner orbital octahedral complex. It is going to be sp3d2 inner orbital complex means d2 sp3. I mean to say the d orbital and s orbital and p3. So it is going to be the d orbital should be used maximum inside it. If you use a d, you are going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And if it is going to be 7, it is going to be again, it is going to be paired. So maximum number of unpaired electrons can be seen with d4 configuration. So when it is talking about this color, so all are going to be list n1 value and n2 value. Okay, n2 value here it is going to be supposed to be n1 to n2 spectral line in the Balmer series. So it is n2 value and it is n1 value. When it is n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, this is going to be Balmer. Okay, 3, 4 and 5. So maximum it is given 5 and 6 also. So highest jump, and it is given in the various format. It is the lowest jump require the less energy. Less energy comes into this red region. So lowest jump is going to be 2 to 3, that is the one. And highest jump is going to be the violet in color. So violet color is going to be 6 to 2. So like that you have to match the intermediate thing, it is going to be 4. Understand? Clear? Talking about one more, whenever a hydrogen atom emits a photon in the Balmer series, it need not emit any more photons. No. It can be done with this. Yeah, okay, it may emit another photon in the Passion series. It can be true. So combination of options should be there. It is not given here. Okay. So identify the correct statement. Identify, you have to enroute whether it is asking about the correct or incorrect. So the correct statement from the following: both lanthanum and actinium are D block elements. Yes, they are D block elements. So after lanthanum, cerium to lutetium are lanthanides, and after actinium, thorium to lawrencium is going to be actinoids. Okay, so I just want to say all statements are correct. This is correct. The lanthanide europium is the largest element because that is the, okay, and chlorine forms a strong acidic oxide, correct. Among silicon, beryllium, magnesium, sodium and phosphorus, the most metallic element is magnesium, but sodium is the most metallic element, which is not actually correct. Okay, you are asked to find the correct statement. Okay, talking about the reduction potential of hydrogen electrode is given. The platinum wire is dipped in, concentration of H plus is given. Concentration of H plus is given as 0.001, and partial pressure of hydrogen is given, is going to be 10. How to calculate the reduction potential? So reduction potential is given as E cell is equal to E naught for the cell for the hydrogen minus 0.0591 by 1 log partial pressure of a hydrogen, okay, to the concentration of a hydrogen. Okay, so you can use this as a 0 for this normal hydrogen electrode minus 0.0591 by 1 log 10 by 0.001. So on solving, you are going to get the answer as minus 0.21 is the correct answer for this question. Talking about the given two statements, specific conductivity conductance of 0.4 molar KCl is greater than that of this. So it is a strong electrolyte and it is a weak electrolyte. It's correct. It's correct. And increase in the molar conductance of dilution is more in 0.04 molar acetic acid is than KCl. Yes, it is. So you see molar conductance and the root concentration. So strong electrolyte will be like this, KCl, while the weak electrolyte there is a sudden increase. So CH3COOH. So the answer for this, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. There is a sudden increase and there is a gradual increase for the strong electrolytes. There is a sudden increase for the weak electrolyte. Talking about, so incorrect statement about the bonding in metal carbonyls, the ligand to the metal bonding creates a correct. Incorrect statement, the ligand to metal bonding creates a synergic effect. That synergic effect is not seen here. Okay, synergic effect is different, synergic bond is different, and this is not actually a correct one. And the metal carbonyl, complex metal will act as. So in the metal carbonyl, carbon monoxide, in the carbon monoxide, okay, in the metal, okay, the lone pair of electron present in this and the vacant orbital of the metal, there is a sigma bond, and there is a non-bonded electron, anti-bonding orbitals is going to give back. So it is giving and taking this. So it is called as both electron pair acceptor and electron pair donor. It's going to be the fourth option is the correct answer for this. This bond is called synergic bond. Okay, and talking about which of the following pair oxides, both are amphoteric, NCERT. So the nature of oxides. So Cr2O3 and V2O5 are going to be the amphoteric in nature, and talking about oxygen is more electronegative than sulfur, correct. Yet H2S is more acidic than H2O, correct. H2S's bond is weaker than OH bond. That is the reason why it is going to be more acidic. So both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation of A. So when you talk about the NEET examination paper, this kind of questions are very important. You have to understand and analyze what is exactly it is acting. Okay. Now here adiabatic and isothermal and isochoric and isobaric. In adiabatic process, dq is equal to 0. Isothermal process, dt is equal to 0. Isochoric process, dv is equal to 0. And isobaric process, dp is equal to 0. So apply this in the first law of thermodynamics. Delta U is equal to Q plus W. So W is equal to minus P delta V. So based on this, you can apply it, and you're going to get is going to be 4. It is going to be 2, and V is going to be 4, like that. Okay. And consider the following statements. You have to identify the incorrect. The style of the question which is asked, most of the question is all about statements, and most of the question is all about it is incorrect and correct. So here you have to take incorrect one. In this incorrect one, it is C, BCl3 is a Lewis acid, correct. Strong acids has very strong conjugate bases, wrong. According to Bronsted-Lowry theory, a strong acid will have the weak conjugate base, and weak acid will have a strong conjugate base, and vice versa. And according to Bronsted-Lowry, an acid-base reaction, the equilibrium shift from strong acid, strong base to weak acid, weak base. This is phenomena of equilibrium driving. Okay, so this is correct. I would say only B is incorrect one. B is incorrect one, my dear children. And talking about the solution of NaCl labeled 0.1 molar. When diluted gives B, and C whose concentration is going to be 0.01 and whose concentration is going to be 0.001. And respectively alpha is less than 1, and the want of factor for this solution. More dilution, alpha is directly, I value is directly proportional to dilution. I mean to say I value is inversely proportional to the concentration. It is going to be concentration. So concentration of C is less, B is less, and A is less. So I value for C is greater, then B is greater than A. Simple logic. In this class you are given, what is this logics. Okay, and find out this is the answer. 3 is the correct answer, and incorrect. Aluminum plus is bigger than aluminum 3. Aluminum 3 is more stable than aluminum 1. Okay, which is not actually correct. Incorrect. Okay, here only you got it. Silicon oxide exists only at high temperature. At low temperature, it is to exist as silicon dioxide. And boron, thallium, gallium, indium, that is the first ionization energy. That is correct. And electronegativity of silicon, germanium, tin is almost nearly same. Okay, that's very important. The salt solution X gives white precipitate with barium chloride. Okay, this precipitate is insoluble in dilute HCl. The anion present is going to be carbonate. So I just want to say carbonate. CO3 2 minus react with the barium chloride is going to be barium carbonate, which is a white precipitate, and it is insoluble in HCl, insoluble in hydrochloric acid. That's very, very important. Definitely I can say practical qualitative analysis, one question will be there for the NEET examination, my dear children, and also practical organic chemistry, one question will be there, right? Talking about potassium ferricyanide solution is not used for the detection of. Potassium ferrocyanide contain Fe2+. Then how do you detect Fe2 plus ion? How it is possible? Logically, if you don't know how these going to be react. Of course, it is going to give the chocolate color. It is going to give us potassium ferrocyanide, Prussian blue, you are going to get it. You are going to get a zinc complex. So, I am getting the answer 4 is the answer for this question. Certain questions you can use just logic or common sense and can crack. However, you are not connected to the actual subject. So, students, prepare well and do the best. Okay, talking about lead has been placed in the qualitative group analysis in the first group, but not in the second. Okay, actually lead has placed in the qualitative analysis first and second both. Why? Because it forms insoluble, it forms lead sulfide. PbCl2 is partially soluble in water, and it forms chloride which is partially soluble, and it is also forms a sulfide which is partial. So PbCl2 is partially soluble, so that it is placed in both group 1 and group 2. So the rate constant for the first order reaction is going to be 0.693 minute inverse. Okay, and what is the time required in minutes for reduction of initial concentration? For the first order it is given. Okay, so that T is equal to 2.303 by K log A naught by AT. Okay, that is 2.303 by 0.693 and the log initial concentration is given as a 40 and it is going to be 5. Okay, so on solving the time in the minutes you are going to get it. Fine, the answer for this question is going to be 30 times. Okay, 30 minutes it is getting. And heat of solution of hydration of magnesium sulfate solid. So magnesium sulfate solid is converted into magnesium sulfate dot 7H2O and it is converted into magnesium 2 plus and sulfate 2 minus. Okay, so you are asked to give this is going to be minus 70. Okay, and it is given as minus 84, and the difference between these values is going to be plus 14 is the answer. Plus 14 is the answer. You have to find out this. Understand? Clear? It is a thermodynamics, simple heat of solution, heat of hydration related thing. And talking about one more option 3, 14 kilojoules is the answer. And benzene diazonium chloride is more stable than alkyl ethyl diazonium chloride. It is correct because इसमें resonance है. And diazonium can be stabilized through resonance, whereas this is not stabilized. Yes, correct explanation. So both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation of A. And talking about given are two statements. Lassine test is not shown by diazonium compound. Yes, this diazonium compound, okay, if we say if we want to go for any test is going to be given as its corresponding, let us say Lassine test mein aqueous media bhi hai na, nitrogen is going to be expelled, so loses, the nitrogen is expelled. That's the reason why you can't do it both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, talking about from the compound given below, the number of compounds will give positive Fehling's test. Aldehydes give positive Fehling's test. Okay, but benzaldehyde do not give positive Fehling's test. That is an exception. So benzaldehyde do not give, acetaldehyde will give, acetone is a ketone, acetophenone is a ketone, methanol is formaldehyde, and 4-nitrobenzaldehyde, cyclohexane carbaldehyde. Okay, you can get it 4-nitrobenzaldehyde, it can make it 3, total 3 are formed. 4-nitrobenzaldehyde you don't get it. So benzaldehyde do not give. That is the logic for this question, and it is super awesome question. Everybody focus on it here. 1,2-dibromopropane on treatment with 1,2-dibromo is treated with X moles of NaNH2 followed with treatment with C2H5Br. Okay, so that you are going to get 2 NaNH2 gives rise CH3 C triple bond CH. Now it is treated with one more NaNH2, so it is going to give you CH3 C triple bond C and Na, and it is going to be gives a pentyne. So you are going to see CH3 CH2Br, and nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place. SN2, you are going to see CH3 C triple bond C CH2 and CH3. So it is a pentyne is formed, 2 pentyne is formed. Here I got 2 here, 1 here. So 2 plus 1, 3 moles of NaNH2 is used. Option is going to be 3 for this question. So we are done here, my dear children. So like this type of questions you are going to expect for this NEET examination 2025. Stay tuned for more number of paper discussions. All the best. Signing off, Suresh, Faculty of